All right, welcome. I'm Gina. We're going to do some gentle moving. We're going to do some grounding, some breathing, and some meditating today. So I'll invite you to figure out what is comfortable for you, whether that's sitting or whether that's on a mat, whether that's lying down, and to bring some movement into your body, some wiggling, some shaking, whatever feels right to kind of settle into the practice, to let go of whatever else has happened today already, and to focus on yourself, to focus on how your body feels and making it as comfortable as possible, and to focus on how your mind feels and can we the mind and the body act synergistically to help one another, to be aligned with one another. So if you like, we'll start with some gentle neck stretches, starting with tipping the head to feel the stretch down the opposite side of the neck. And this might feel great. If you're looking for something more, you can reach the hand away and experiment with how that feels. And flexing the fingertips will intensify the stretch, and pointing the fingertips away will make the stretch a little bit less intense. So decide what feels good to you. And you can decide where to move the shoulder, because that'll also change the feeling in the neck. So if you move the shoulder a little bit more forward, you'll feel the stretch shift a little bit, or if you move the shoulder a little bit more backwards, you'll feel the stretch shift a little bit, and you'll know where is right for you. And when you find the spot that feels like, okay, this is where the tightness is, or this is where my tension lies, just breathe into that tension. See if you can let it melt away, even just a little bit. And take a big breath in here. And let it go through the mouth. And then if your arm's out, you can bring it back in and we'll roll the chin to the chest and feel the stretch down the back of the neck. This, again, might be enough. You might feel that this is great. Or maybe you want to interlace your fingertips and gently rest them on the top of the head. Not pulling on the neck, but just giving a little bit extra weight. Dropping the shoulders back down away from the ears. And tucking the chin closer to the chest, rounding the top of the spine. Pressing into the feet if you're sitting on the ground. Pressing into the hips so the spine gets tall, and then the chin tips forward. And you could do that even with the breath. Inhale to sit up nice and tall, and exhale to stretch in the neck. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and exhale to bring the chin closer towards the chest. And then to come out of this, we'll gently bring the hands down if they're on top of the head, and then roll the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder, feeling the stretch on the opposite side of the neck. And again, this might already feel like plenty and you stay here. Or you can experiment if you're looking for more. You can reach that hand away, flexing the fingertips or pointing the fingertips, depending on what feels good in your arm and neck. And then moving the shoulder and the arm either forward to feel how that feels, or backward to see how that feels, and finding the spot that feels, okay, this is the place where I have the most tension or the most strain, and I'm just going to breathe into it. I'm going to let it melt away, even if it's just a little bit. And take a big inhale here. And let it go through the mouth. And then roll the chin back to the chest and all the way around, just slowly doing a few neck circles in one direction, really being mindful, maybe more slowly than you're capable or more slowly than you'd like to move. And once you've done a few in that direction and you get back to wherever you started, then we'll move in the opposite direction. Again, nice and slowly with controlled small movement. If you feel pops and clicks, that is okay as long as you're not feeling any pain. We need to be gentle with our neck. There's a lot going on there. And as anyone who's ever had a stiff neck or a pulled back can attest, it's not fun. It doesn't feel good. It's really tough. So, be kind and gentle to yourself. And the next time you get to a place where you are tipped with your nose up to the air and your head tipped back, we'll stay here for a moment. And again, inhaling to elongate the spine and exhaling to look at something new. So instead of cranking into the neck, we're thinking about elongating up the chest, opening up the shoulders, and looking up towards the ceiling. And then we'll slowly come into some seated cat-cows, tucking the chin to the chest and rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone under, moving the hips, moving the collarbones through the shoulders, looking up, and then moving with your breath as quickly or as slowly as feels good in your body today. So that might be faster or slower than how I want to move, and that's fine. We are all different. Inhaling to look up into cow pose and exhaling to round the spine into cat pose. And we'll do one more round like this, taking your time, extending and flexing the spine, bringing a little bit of movement into the vertebrae. And then coming up into a nice tall position. Maybe you walk the hips a little bit or wiggle it out or whatever you want to do. Maybe some circles feel good in the hips, or maybe marching feels good in the hips. Whatever, listen to your body. It doesn't have to be exactly what feels good to me or what I'm doing. It's best to say, okay, what do I need right now? And then do that. So we have gone forward and backward with our spine, and we'll do a little bit of side to side with the spine. So choose a side that feels good, and we'll reach up and over, and then looking down towards the ground and rotating that arm back to where it lives. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, reaching up and overhead, and then looking down towards the ground, bringing the shoulder towards the ground, and then finishing off that circle by bringing the arm back to where it started. And we'll do that again once on each side. So I'm starting with my left arm up, tipping over, looking down and rotating the chest, bringing the arm down and around past the knees, coming back up into the seat, and bringing the right hand up and over, tipping to the side, and then looking down and continuing on that circle with the right shoulder back around the knees and back to where we started from. And then maybe the shoulders want to be rolled out a little bit. That might feel really nice. Going in both directions. And you might want to stretch one arm across. You can either hold on to the wrist or above or below the elbow. Feeling the stretch in the shoulder, relaxing that shoulder away from the ears, because sometimes it just wants to go up, up, up. And then when you're ready, slowly letting that go and switching sides, opening the opposite arm up and crossing it over the body, either holding on to the wrist or above or below the elbow, and then relaxing the shoulder down. And breathing here. You've lost the breath, you've lost the pose, so just do what feels manageable while the breath is calm and still. And then letting go of that And then doing any other movements that feel supportive in your body in order to settle into a bit of stillness. So whether that's something we've already done, or whether maybe you want to stretch out the legs or do some twists, or maybe your body's already ready, and that's fine too. Do whatever movements would be nurturing, and then find yourself either lying down on the mat or lying, reclined, or you can put something behind your back, or if it feels comfortable, you can self-support. All are good choices. And then we'll go in. So if you like, you can close your eyes. And if that's not comfortable, that's fine. You can lower your gaze. And if you've lost the breath, that's okay. We'll find it again. Just where do you feel it? It's always with us. We just don't always notice it. So can you feel it coming into your nose and up into the sinuses? Can you feel the chest swelling on the inhale and sinking on the exhale? Can you feel the ribs expanding and contracting? Can you invite the breath into the belly? Feeling your whole torso expand, the belly expands, the chest expands, the ribs in the back expand. And then sinking on the exhale as all the air gets pushed out of the lungs to make way for the new breath. Inhaling to expand and grow, and then exhaling to contract. Elongating the exhales just a bit. And maybe adding a very slight pause at the bottom of your exhale, just a second or two before your next inhale. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, now's a great time to do that. Something you want to cultivate, something you want more of in your life. And stating it in the present tense, stating it as if it's already happened. Our body wants so badly to align with the thoughts and the things we tell ourselves and the things that we say. And so the more positive affirmations we can give to ourselves, the more we can talk nicely to and about ourselves, the more our body wants to go in that direction. So I have a few affirmative readings from this book called You Can Heal Your Life, which is by Louise Hay. She's written many, many books on the topics of affirmations and healing and the power of the mind. And so following your breath, inhaling and exhaling, however your body naturally wants to breathe. And I'll read from Louise Hay. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. And yet, life is ever changing. There is no beginning and no end, only a constant cycling and recycling of substance and experiences. Life is never stuck or static or stale, for each moment is ever new and fresh. I am one with the very power that created me, and this power has given me the power to create my own circumstances. I rejoice in the knowledge that I have the power of my own mind to use it in any way I choose. Every moment of life is a new beginning point as we move from the old. This moment is a new point of beginning for me right here and right now. All is well in my world. I'm going to move into some box breathing. So contemplating what you heard, how can it help you? Inhaling, holding the breath at the top, exhaling, holding the breath at the bottom. Every moment is new. You decide how long the breath holds are. Inhaling, making the hold at the top about the same length of time. Exhaling for the same amount of time. And then holding the breath at the bottom. You can count if it's helpful, or you can be intuitive if that feels better. Inhaling in this present moment. Holding the breath at the top. Exhaling in this present moment. And holding the breath at the bottom. And then carrying on with your box breathing as I continue to quote Louise. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. The past has no power over me because I am willing to learn and change. I see the past as necessary to bring me to where I am today. I am willing to begin where I am right now, to clean the rooms of my mental house. I know it does not matter where I start, so I now begin with the smallest and the easiest rooms, and in that way, I will see results quickly. I am thrilled to be in the middle of this adventure, for I know I will never go through this particular experience again. I am willing to set myself free. All is well in my world. Inhaling, holding the breath at the top. Exhaling, and holding the breath at the bottom. Maybe, if it feels right in your body, you make the square grow, inhaling for just a second longer, holding the breath at the top for just a second longer, exhaling for just a second longer, and holding the breath at the bottom for just a second longer, if that's sustainable, if that feels good in your body. And I have one final quotation to read from Louise Hay. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I no longer choose to believe in old limitations and lack. I now choose to begin to see myself as the universe sees me, perfect, whole, complete. The truth of my being is that I was created perfect, whole, and complete. I will always be perfect, whole, and complete. I now choose to live my life from this understanding. I am in the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. All is well in my world. You can let go of any breathing pattern that you have. Let your breath return to normal. And then slowly bring some movement into your limbs, into your hands, your feet, into your wrists and ankles, into your knees and elbows, maybe stretching up or out. Maybe rolling the shoulders or the neck. Gently, gently bringing yourself back into the wider world. And if your eyes are closed, you can slowly open your eyes. Thanks for practicing with me today.